The Hoosiers, who are the 9th seed in the tournament, the backcourt of Valentine and Leanne Stevenson, the senior. The center is Angela Hawkins, the junior, good shot blocker. Jamie Gathing, senior from Kankakee, Illinois, and Annika Boyd along the front line for Wisconsin. Emma Gabiza, Annie Nelson, along with the freshman Jolene Anderson, Stephanie Rich, their second leading scorer, and another freshman, Janice Banks. There is Lisa Stone in her second year in Madison, 21-32, a 9-23 Big Ten record, 396 career coaching wins. And Kathy Bennett in her 5th and final year at the helm of the Hoosiers, a record of 72-74, 29-51 in the Big Ten. 296 career coaching wins for her. We're set to go, and the tap is controlled by Wisconsin as it's picked up by Jolene Anderson, and the Badgers go to work. Wisconsin in their white traveling uniforms. And that's Annie Nelson, junior from Hudson, Wisconsin, off to Janice Banks, freshman from right here in Indianapolis. And she draws the first, traveling is called. There's our officiating crew for the game today. June Courteau, Ron Dressender, and Ray Bomley worked the first game here. And the first turnover goes Indiana's way as the Hoosiers bring it up.
Well, don't be surprised if you see a few turnovers today, just based on the fact that both of these teams are very defensively oriented.
And Cindy Valentine gets Indiana off to a 3-0 lead.
Cindy Valentine, that's not going to be the first, the only one we see tonight from there. She just knocks those shots down.
Valentine averaging 15 points a game, 10th in the conference in three-point field goal percentage. Now all on the move, the runner high off the glass, missed by Nelson. And Indiana controls as Hawkins grabs the rebound. Gathing up top, Hawkins on the move. The pull-up in the lane is short, and the rebound controlled by Anderson. Anderson, number 41, Big Ten freshman of the year. Out it goes Rich, spotting up for three. She missed it. Valentine grabs the rebound.
Oh, you know, we talked about, we had mentioned the fact that there might be a few turnovers. Both teams actually take care of the ball fairly well, but because they're so defensively solid and defensively oriented, sometimes it causes some problems for the offense.
Stevenson with 12 to shoot, out to Gathing. Now Hawkins. Contact, they play on. Shot missed. Rebound Gabiza.
Well, that's not a bad shot for Hawkins, and she needs to take those. We've seen her pull up for 2 of those shots, and give her an opportunity, and she'll start knocking some of those down.
All right, there's the matchup. Anderson and Valentine. Out it goes Rich for three. That one rims out. Hawkins the rebound. 3-0 Indiana. 2 minutes gone. Stevenson ahead to Gathing. Put it on the floor. Scores 5-0.
Yeah, both of these teams really look to push the ball up the floor when they get the opportunity, and that time Indiana capitalizing. They push the ball up the floor off of a missed shot.
Indiana has held Wisconsin scoreless thus far. Out it goes, and Banks will fire. That's a long deuce, and Wisconsin's on the board.
Well, Anderson gets that ball down underneath, draws the defender, and then kicks it out. And certainly Wisconsin very capable of scoring from the outside. 39% from the floor on the season. 33% from the three-point line.
Here's Valentine. Cross court to Stevenson. Now Gathing with 10 to shoot. Inside Hawkins, back out Valentine. With the shot clock running down, little floater is good by Valentine.
Well, nice patience in the half court by Indiana as they work the ball inside out, and nice penetration by Valentine.
Indiana leads the Big Ten in field goal percentage defense and three-point defense. In the top 30 in the nation in field goal defense and in scoring defense, as that shot rims out of there by Nelson. That one was halfway down and came back out. Valentine on the baseline. The pull-up missed. Rebound to Jolene Anderson. Anderson, Big Ten freshman of the year, working against the former winner of that award, and Valentine, who won it 2 years ago. And bumped by Valentine. So the first foul of the ball game goes goes against Valentine. The game for the Badgers is Jordan Wilson, junior from Naperville, Illinois, Bennett Academy. Their sixth leading scorer, and out goes Ebba Gabiza. 7-2 Indiana. Underneath Anderson. Steps back and fires. Hawkins had it, lost it out of bounds, and it's Indiana ball.
Oh, you can see how strong Anderson is as she's fading away. She was a little late on her release, but still able to get the ball up and hit the rim and give that ball a chance.
All right, Stevenson brings it across half court, picked up by Jolene Anderson. Gathing. Kick out Valentine for three. A little bit short on that one. And the rebound, Stephanie Rich. And then the steal. And Annika Boyd the other way for Indiana. At the end of the break, Stevenson times it nicely, and it's 9-2.
Boyd just happens to get her hands in the lane out of the transition and knocks the ball loose. It was great execution in the transition by Indiana.
That pass deflected, but saved by Rich.
Now, Indiana very active with their hands, not only off the dribble, but also getting their hands in the passing lane.
That ball out of bounds. It'll remain Wisconsin ball with 9 to shoot when we return. It's 9-2 Indiana, 15:08 to go here in the first half.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer, but you're never quite sure what the next it will be, then Hobo is your store. At Hobo, we're constantly taking in new kitchen and bathroom inventory, and our no-frills warehouse-style outlet store means you pay less, 10 to 50% less than the other guys. This is Jim the Hobo Guy. When it comes time to fix up your kitchen or bathroom, you never know what you will find at Hobo, but you will always find it for less.
Great job.
Nice.
I'll be right back. Watch your seat, huh?
Yeah, I got him. Sorry, my buddy's sitting there. Hello? You'll be fine.
Know what I missed?
Just a little D.
Jewelry Exchange in Villa Park.
This is the Sports List
with Summer Sanders.
the show that counts down anything in the world of sports.
The most shocking upsets, the best sports heroes, the sexiest athletes, the biggest sports scandals, and much more. Hosted by Summer Sanders.
Every night, a new list.
Every night, a new argument. The Sports List, weeknights on FSN.
Second meeting of the year between the Hoosiers and the Badgers. Indiana's won 5 of the last 6. They met on the 3rd of February in Bloomington. Indiana won 71-66. This is the 3rd straight year they have met in the first game of the tournament in the 8 versus 9 game. 2 years ago, Indiana was the 8th seed. And there's Kathy Bennett, who guided the Hoosiers to a win in the tournament in 2002. And this week now she was presiding. Last year, Indiana pounded the Badgers 57-39 in this game with the same seedings. And the three-pointer good for Anderson. First points for Anderson, first three-pointer for Wisconsin. And it's 9-5.
Dave, you talked about how it's an emotional game for Indiana. They always seem to show up in this tournament. They have great success.
And as usual, there are a lot of red-clad Indiana fans out there. A lot of red-clad Wisconsin fans, we should point out as well.
Well, they've taken on the personality of their coaches, and both coaches being former point guards. You got a very up-paced, tempoed game, and they push the ball off the floor, very defensively oriented, and that's what people like to see.
Shot clock at 8 on the move. Anderson kicks it out. Banks. Banks will pull up off the dribble. No, and the rebound Hawkins.
Hawkins is so strong on the boards. Great positioning.
Hawkins 6'3" out of Winter Haven, Florida, a junior. And there she goes right around the defenders, but missed the shot. Wilson the rebound.
Now you can see the improvement that she has made. She received the ball, squared up, and then puts the ball on the floor to try and create.
14, Ashley Josephson getting it to Banks. Up. And that's a 3-second violation. 3 seconds, and Wisconsin turns it over. They had an open look there for Anderson, as you get a glimpse of Kathy Bennett. So it's Indiana ball.
Oh, you know, sometimes when they're posting up and you're calling for that ball, you know, you think you're just a split second away from being able to receive that, and that's the difference of whether or not you get called for that 3-second violation or not.
Jumper is good by Leanne Stevenson. She's got 4 points, and it's a 6-point Indiana lead, and Wisconsin turns it over against Stevenson to Boyd. Boyd stops, lob to Hawkins. Hawkins against Wilson. On the baseline, no, but a foul.
That's a great move by Hawkins. She receives the ball on the baseline and on that low block, and what happens is she takes that reverse pivot, and look at the distance she creates off that reverse pivot. That gives her an opportunity to decide what move she's going to make next.
Indiana, 72% from the line as a team. Hawkins shooting 59%. First free throw attempt of the day for either team is short. The broadcast rights for the Big Ten Women's Basketball Tournament have been granted to FSN by the Big Ten Conference. Any reproduction or rebroadcast without the express written consent of FSN and the Big Ten is strictly prohibited. Hawkins makes the second. Her first point of the day. In the ball game for Indiana, Jamie Chapman, 6'3" sophomore from Omaha, Nebraska, who has battled back from a stress fracture. Missed the first 13 games of the season, but has come back to play in 12 games since then.
Well, when she comes in, she brings some size in at 6'3", has nice size inside, and it really changes the looks for their opponent.
Number 13,
Annika Boyd called for the foul. Her first, second team foul, and it's Wisconsin ball. Badgers down 7. 35, Kirsten Bakke inbounding it, and the three-pointer no good for Josephson. Indiana the rebound, ahead to Stevenson. Stevenson into the paint. Out to Chapman. Now Indiana will work for a shot here. Here's Stevenson against Anderson. The lob down low, the double team. Chapman trying to pass out of it, lost the ball, but then the lead pass too far for Banks, and it's Indiana ball again.
Well, that's the right idea because the defense was recovering, and it would have been a nice reverse layup. Just let her a little bit too much.
Substitution for Indiana.
The ball game for Indiana, Leah Enterline, sophomore from Monroeville, Indiana, in for Boyd. 12-5, Indiana leads it. Hoosiers this year 10-17, 3-13 in the Big Ten. They were 500 at the Assembly Hall, 7-7. And Valentine steps on the sideline and turns it over.
Now you take a look at Cindy Valentine's eye. She was a little questionable as to whether or not she was going to be able to play in today's game. She got poked in that eye and had quite a bit of swelling.
And now a hard collision, and Valentine calls for the foul. Josephson, Anderson, and Valentine all converging. And Valentine picks up her second foul. And that will bring a substitution quickly as Callie Kohlberg comes hustling off the Indiana bench for Kathy Bennett. And Indiana nearly came up with it. Wisconsin got it back. Shot missed, and there's Valentine with the ball.
That's great hustle by Banks, nearly getting that shot to fall, but what a great effort she did defensively.
And Valentine going coast to coast. She's got 7, and it's a 9-point Indiana lead.
Now, Cindy Valentine just stops and pops so easily and quickly. She reads that defense so well, pulls right up off the dribble.
Josephson off the screen by Bakke, and that's going to be an offensive foul. 11:28 to go into the first half. Good start for the Indiana Hoosiers. They lead Wisconsin 14-5. Cindy Valentine leading the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct.
Who's the most convenient bank in America? U.S. Bank.
The one with full-service branches in more states, more ATMs in more convenient places, and more 24-hour banking options, both over the phone and online at usbank.com. Best of all, everything we do is backed by our one-of-a-kind 5-star service guarantee. U.S. Bank is proud to be the official bank of the Big Ten Conference.
You have a week to get it together. Show me something.
LA's toughest cop has finally met his match.
I'm the new captain, Monica Rawlings. You've had plenty of opportunities to get rid of them. Why not? Too effective?
You are a joke.
What kind of future are we going to have if you're already lying to me?
Glenn Close.
I need to trust you.
Michael Chiklis.
Right now, I don't.
The Shield premieres Tuesday, March 15th at 10, only on FX.
The Pac-10 Tournament, where the madness begins. What a play! The conference's elite square off as they set out on their quest for a title. Oh, is that ever pretty? 3 days in March. Can you believe that? One course. And a champion crowned. The Pacific Light Pac-10 Men's Tournament, March 10th and March 11th on FSN.
Saturday, Pac-10 College Hoops return to FSN with a doubleheader. First, 11th-ranked Arizona takes on cross-state rival Arizona State. Then, Oregon battles UCLA as both teams fight for seeding in the Pac-10 tournament. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, only on FSN. Some of the fans here in Conseco Fieldhouse. Indiana has grabbed a 9-point lead on Wisconsin. With 11:27 to go into the first half, Callie Kohlberg checks in for Coach Kathy Bennett, making her 21st appearance of the year, replacing Valentine, who picked up the 2 fouls. Now on the move, off the dribble, the shot no good for Enterline. Anderson the rebound.
You know, that's what you have to do when you make that penetration, pulling up right in the middle. Just a little strong on the shot, but her being left-handed, she had the opportunity to be able to square up very nicely.
There's Bakke against Gathing. Dishing off to Josephson. Now Rich on the move, 8 to shoot. Stripped and fouled by Gathing, I believe. It might have been Enterline. Yes, it was Gathing called for the foul.
Gathing trying to plead her case, thinking she had all ball. But you had Bakke setting that screen, or the pick on the ball, I should say. A little bit of a reach.
Stephanie Rich to the free throw line. Rich, 83% free throw shooter. Wisconsin, 73% as a team. Rich out of Crawfordsville, Iowa. Top 13 in the conference in three-point percentage, three-point field goals made, assists, steals, block shots.
And the list goes on.
Yeah, and she brings Wisconsin within 7.
She is very capable of scoring, putting up some great numbers.
And the takeaway, Anderson. Shot was contested, missed it. It's swatted back out of there and out of bounds to Wisconsin.
Well, Stephanie Rich had 22 points at Northwestern early in January.
Josephson.
And I was going to say, Josephson had 29 points. So you've got quite a few scores on this Wisconsin team.
And another Indiana foul.
Josephson actually had the 29 points against Iowa.
Foul on Chapman, her first. That's 5 team fouls now on the Hoosiers. And Bakke misses the free throw. Wisconsin has missed their last 6 shots from the floor. Hawkins back in, Boyd in. They are 2 for 13 shooting.
You know, we mentioned it earlier that they, on the season, average 39%. You know, sometimes it just takes a while to get your feet underneath and get you in your rhythm.
Just about midway through the first half, and it's a 7-point lead for Indiana. Pass was deflected by Rich. Enterline got it. Chapman goes to Boyd. Shot clock at 8. 15-footer is good by Boyd. And it's 16-7. Back to a 9-point Indiana lead.
Now, Indiana is, again, we made mention of it just a few minutes ago about how patient they are being in their half-court offense. But they're really working that inside-outside action. They're trying to look to get that ball into Chapman, but then kicking it back out. And the guards are doing a very nice job with their shot selection.
Bakke grabs a seat, as does Josephson. Indiana up by 9. Wisconsin with 7 turnovers already. Their per-game average is 17. And they take it away this time as Annie Nelson gets her hands on it. Anderson with a pull-up, and it's good. The deuce for Anderson, and it's 16-9. And at the other end, Enterline going to work and fouled by Rich.
Notice how quickly Indiana gets the ball out of the basket, pushes it up the floor to get Wisconsin not getting back very quickly, or as quickly as they should be. Right there you have Enterline pulling up for the jumper. But you have to give credit. Down at the other end, you have Anderson. Did not have any rebounders underneath. 3 Indiana players back, and she pulls up for that jumper.
Enterline, 70% free throw shooter. And she has her first 2 points of the day. And Indiana back to a 9-point lead.
Enterline, she actually set the freshman record for assists a year ago. 8 assists against North Carolina State.
Anderson had her shot blocked. Rebound Chapman. Indiana off to a good start. Chapman for 3. Rebound Hawkins. Muscled it back up, and it's tipped in. Tipped in. As Chapman got in there and helped out. And Hawkins credited with the basket.
Well, that's just tremendous effort by Indiana on the offensive boards.
Banks now firing for 3 and hitting. Boy, did Wisconsin need that. Badgers really struggling, but Banks hits the 3-pointer and brings them back to within 8. There you see the 3-point shooting. Wisconsin 33%, Indiana 33%.
Now Banks on the season averages nearly 10 points a game, 22% from the 3-point line.
Bounce into Hawkins, turning, count it, and 1 for Angela Hawkins.
Hawkins is working extremely hard to get that defense on her back. And once she gathers herself, when she receives the ball, she takes it and attacks that outside foot of the defender. And that's why she's able to get a nice look at the shot, or a nice look at the basket and get that shot off.
Misses the free throw, and the rebound Nelson. 10-point lead for Indiana with 7:53 to go into the half. Gabiza out to Banks. Wisconsin trying to get going here. Here's Anderson. The skip pass. Rich missing on the 3-point shot, but it's saved by Nelson. Inside, Anderson scoops it in.
Anderson did a great job of finding the gap. Indiana's defense lost sight of where she was, but she put herself right in position where she could receive the ball, went right to the basket. That off-ball movement is so crucial.
Now Indiana, the skip to Boyd for 3. Annika Boyd drills the 3-pointer. She's shot 24% this year from beyond the arc, but nothing wrong with that one. And it's 25-14, back to an 11-point lead.
And she's very capable of scoring some points, over 1,400 points in high school. Two-time All-State selection.
Now Anderson trying to answer, and does.
Speaking of scoring,
her second triple of the day. Anderson into double figures for the 25th time in 27 games.
25.
Well, she's the state of Wisconsin's all-time leading scorer. 2,800 points.
Hails from Port Wing, Wisconsin. And traveling, Wisconsin turns it over. 6:23 for the half. Indiana has an 8-point lead. Hoosiers 25-17.
She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Hiya! Those guys were fast like me.
Wherever you're going, you'll feel really good riding with Geico.
Everybody was kung fu.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
We know that most people enjoy an occasional drink, and that your decision to consume alcohol is no one's business but your own.
But if you drink and drive over the legal limit, and you jeopardize the safety of our citizens, then you've made your decision our business.
To assist law enforcement and help make our streets safer, the Mobilize Foundation will pay a $25 reward to any citizen who calls 911, reports a dangerous driver, and helps the State Patrol remove you from our streets.
In Wisconsin,
we'll all be watching. Holiday Talkie Breakaway Weekend, March 18th and 19th on FSN North.
Don't be tired. She is my kitty. She is my sweaty. She is my Jonesy. She is my Jonesy cat. She is my cat.
Things can get pretty ugly when you're bored. In an after-school program, you can find something way better to do.
You're watching FSN.
Here's our Big Ten tournament schedule. After this game, you'll see the Northwestern Wildcats and the Illinois Fighting Illini, followed by the Michigan Wolverines and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Tomorrow we get started at noon. Indiana, Wisconsin winner against Ohio State, Purdue, Minnesota. Then it'll be Michigan State against the winner of our next game, and then Penn State will take on Michigan or Iowa. The semis on Sunday. Those games ahead right here on FSN. We will bring you a full weekend of basketball from Indianapolis. Out of bounds. Indiana ball with 19 to shoot.
Stephanie Rich extending the defense, getting her hands in the passing lane.
Kohlberg looking to get it into Hawkins. There's Boyd bouncing down low. That's 32. Sarah McKay, who came in on the timeout, 6'7".
Well, McKay had been a starter, then had gotten injured, so her time has been limited.
Her 22nd appearance of the year. Josephson on the move. The kick out. Banks for three short. But taken underneath by Wilson. Missed the follow. And the rebound. There's a foul as Hawkins grabs the rebound.
No, that's what you want. And, you know, unfortunately, Banks not getting the shot off that she would like, but you have Wilson following the shot. Those are the shots that you need to put in. You're right there, especially when your team's down.
Down by 8, 25-17. The Hoosiers beat the Indiana pressure.
Wisconsin, yep, Wisconsin mixing up their defense, going zone.
Wisconsin with the pressure, but Indiana gets the ball to Enterline for a shot that's knocked out of bounds. And it'll be Indiana ball with 11 to shoot. Anderson, after a brief rest, back in the game for the Badgers. And Kohlberg to throw it in. The bounce of Hawkins. Looking for position inside. Short on the shot. Rebound Nelson.
Now Hawkins with the step through comes back to the left hand.
Now Wilson with a left hand. Nice move by Wilson, and Wisconsin has climbed back to within 6.
That time gets the defense on the back, but once again Wisconsin extending their defense. 1-2-2 and then dropping back into the 1-2-2 quarter court.
And Indiana able to advance the ball through the hands of McKay. Hawkins had it, lost it. Banks on the run. A foot race with Kohlberg. And Banks off the window brings Wisconsin within 4. And timeout Indiana. Kathy Bennett will take a timeout here as the Badgers come storming back from an 11-point deficit to get within 4.
Now Banks from Indiana, right here in Indianapolis, Ben Davis High School, Gatorade Player of the Year. Gets her hands right in the mix. Nice job converting at the other end.
Banks, the third leading scorer for the Badgers. There is Kathy Bennett, coached at Evansville prior to taking the Indiana job, and then prior to that, Wisconsin Oshkosh, where she won a Division III national championship, wrapping up 5 years in Bloomington.
She certainly has had a great career, and Lisa Stone as well. You're looking at two very fine coaches that represented the Big Ten well and their institutions.
There's Lisa Stone, coached at Wisconsin Eau Claire and at Drake, Cornell College prior to that, before coming to Madison.
She actually played in the Big Ten, played at Iowa. Played with Angie Lee, the former head coach of Iowa.
And an offensive foul called. Wipes out the basket by Hawkins.
Hawkins squares up, tries to get that step through, puts that ball on the floor, but what happens is that she makes that contact, that elbow gets extended, and that's where she got called.
Not make the shot. Foul called on Hawkins, her first foul, and with 4 minutes to go in the half, Wisconsin a chance to get it to 2. Here's Wilson spinning, lost the handle on it. It's up for grabs. Still loose. Held ball. It will go to Indiana on the alternating possession. 3:52 to go. First half, 4-point game here in Conseco. 25-21, Indiana.
ACC basketball on FSN. Wake Forest fights for a shot at the conference title against scoring phenom Julius Hodge and NC State. ACC Sunday Night Hoops this week on FSN.
Senior standouts take center stage on the season's final weekend as Baron Brukler leads the Badgers against Evan Schwab and the Bulldogs. Badgers, Bulldogs, tomorrow and Saturday on FSN North.
The best damn sports show, period. Television's greatest late-night sports show has raised the bar again. Join Tom Arnold and John Sally as they cut loose with the biggest stars in sports and entertainment. It's late-night television reinvented.
I don't know if you're going to go for this. Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh.
The best damn sports show, period. Weeknights on FSN.
Easy. You'll love it.
They lurk in the water, waiting for a fight. It's FLW Outdoors, the ultimate challenge in competitive fishing. A season-long tour with prize money worth over $7 million. Get caught in the action, emotion, and total adrenaline. FLW Outdoors, Sundays on FSN.
3:52 to go, first half. Indiana leads Wisconsin 25-21 in our first opening round game. Coming up at halftime, we'll preview our next game, Northwestern in Illinois. We'll be in conversation with Jamie Pollard, Deputy Athletic Director at Wisconsin, and we'll have a look at first half stats and highlights, all coming up at halftime in about a little under 4 minutes from now. Indiana with the ball. Their 11-point lead down to 4. Leanne Stevenson brings it up and off to Carrie Smith, number 44, just checked in, her 18th appearance, a sophomore from here in Indianapolis. Gathering to Enterline. Indiana trying to hang on with their leading scorer, Cindy Valentine, on the bench with 2 fouls. Out it goes Enterline for 3. That's a deuce. That's a deuce for Enterline.
Well, Wisconsin really switched up their defense all in that same possession. They put a chaser. They put a chaser on Stevenson, and then when the ball gets entered, then all of a sudden they go into their man. But Indiana being able to capitalize on that. Wisconsin getting another steal back.
Anderson missed the shot, but then stole it back. 27-21, inside of 3 minutes. Anderson against Stevenson. Wilson the screen. The kick out, Banks. Banks contact in the lane and a foul, and Banks will go to the free throw line.
Well, Banks really goes hard to the basket, and as you are going hard to the basket, that post player needs to relocate, because if you look right there, you had Gary Smith right inside that was almost able to block that shot, but fortunately for Banks, she was able to draw the foul, put herself at the line.
Banks.
Into the junior lineup, number 45, Bridget Branson.
With Bridget Branson, junior from Bloomingdale, Indiana, number 45 checking in. First free throw good by Janice Banks. 8 points in the game. Make it 9. And once again, it's a 4-point game. The foul on Gathing was her second. As Indiana sends it ahead, Branson. Enterline fadeaway on the baseline, just missed.
Wisconsin picking up in a full court diamond, that time causing somewhat of a quick shot by Indiana. Coming up with a good defensive stop, now down at the offensive end.
Nelson. The bounce to Wilson. Shot clock at 12. Out it goes. Rich for 3. Good. Stephanie Rich brings Wisconsin within 1, 27-26. Her first field goal of the game.
Now second in the Big Ten in three-point field goal percentage. Knocks a big one down for Wisconsin, bringing them within 1.
At the other end, Enterline extends the lead for Indiana again to 3 points.
Oh, that was a great situation for Enterline, being left-handed as she goes to split the defenders, comes back as the defense cut off that low block. She splits back, coming back to her left.
Deflected out of bounds. Wisconsin ball with 16 to shoot. Anderson to throw it in.
Well, keep an eye on Anderson, because we saw her score early on out of that inbounds.
Tough shot. Banks makes it a 1-point game again. Banks into double figures with 11.
Now, anytime you can get that quick pass from the inbound, can't ask for much more than that.
We tick towards 1 minute in the opening half. Boyd inside, off the window. Branson, or check that, Perry Smith rather, with her first points. Smith from here in Indianapolis, over and back, and the ball will go over to Indiana.
You know, it's always a tough situation when you bring that ball over half court. You don't want to pick that ball up. You need to keep the dribble alive, bring it back to the middle of the floor so you can get your offense started.
All right, Stevenson into the front court, 1:05 to go. Now, both Nelson and Banks in pursuit. They get an open look for 3 for Enterline, and she buries it. Leah Enterline with her first three-pointer, and it's 34-28, a 1-point lead, back up to 6 with 53 seconds to go till halftime.
Oh, that's just great spacing by Indiana as they spread the floor, putting some pressure on Wisconsin's defense. But Enterline, she's only a 17% three-point shooter. Great ball reversal, and look at the spacing as Wisconsin trying to put a lot of pressure on the ball, trying to get some traps, but Indiana reverses the ball. And Enterline spots up nicely deep in the left corner.
And that was an NBA 3 as well. There's Lisa Stone. Badgers looking to reach the quarterfinals in this tournament for the first time since 2002, having been knocked out the last 2 years by Indiana in this game. Hoosiers won it in 02. They've been in the semifinals 2 other times. The numbers on Enterline so far today. 9 points and a blocked shot. There's Wilson. There's a 22-second difference, shot clock to game clock, but that doesn't matter. Jolene Anderson has 12, and it's 34-30. Now the difference between the clocks is 9 points.
Well, they get
9 seconds.
Yes, they get Anderson curling off of a high post screen.
Kick out. Enterline will try again. A little too strong that time. Rebound. Rich. Shot clock is extinguished. Anderson across the line. Anderson will throw it up. Ball is up for grabs. Taken the other way by Boyd. Here comes Boyd and traveling. So Wisconsin will have a shot. All right, chance to take the final shot of the half with 9.4 to go. And Rich brings it up. 5 seconds. Time running down. Handoff. Anderson fires. No, and that will do it for the first half of play. And the Indiana Hoosiers, who have led by as many as 11 points, have the lead at halftime over the Wisconsin Badgers in this first Big Ten tournament game. 34-30. Let's go to Tony Resch.
Hey, Kathy, you're up here at halftime. You wanted to get things established on the defensive end. Is your team doing what you wanted them to do?
Yeah, I feel like we got to do a better job, our guards, of staying home, especially on Rich and Anderson on post penetration. We can't be, gapping up and trying to stop their post and then kicking it for the three, and we got to make that adjustment.
Are you spreading the floor against Wisconsin's pressure like you would like?
Yeah, I think we're doing a really good job with that. I mean, we're, hitting shots, we're spreading the floor. I feel sometimes we need to be a little bit more patient, not take the first three that's open.
Kathy, good luck. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you, Tony. Halftime, Indiana leads Wisconsin 34-30. We'll be back with our halftime activities coming up from Conseco Fieldhouse, where Indiana leads by 4 at halftime.
Funny thing about canned laughter, it sounds canned. Well, here's a fresh idea. Hormel chili in the preservative-free Smart Pack. Lift, squeeze, tear, and get set to enjoy Hormel chili. It's anything but canned.
FSN North brings you an up-close look at the Badgers. Check out all of the big plays.
Touchdown Badgers!
From the biggest events of the week, the Badgers Sports Report. Monday at 6:30 on FSN North, where Wisconsin fans come first.
This week on FSN Across America, Padres star Alan Wiggins succumbed to drug addiction at an early age. Now, his daughter reveals her crusade to improve a tarnished family image. FSN Across America, Saturday.
Bucks Weekly on FSN North. Every Monday, get a breakdown of last week's games and a look at what's developing for the matchups ahead. Bucks Weekly, Mondays at 10 on FSN North.
On the next Beyond the Glory, Grant Hill was destined for greatness.
There was so much pressure on him to play through pain.
But physical misfortune has put a promising career on hold.
If I can get back, man, watch out.
Grant Hill, Beyond the Glory, Sunday on FSN.
Hello there. Having a lasting effect on a kid's life can be quick and easy.
Here's some stuff we've learned.
From time to time, secret codes may be used. It's not uncommon for a kid to demonstrate special powers.
Costumes can be uncomfortable, but loads of fun. Moments like these happen every day.
Lend your support. Go to bigbrothersbigsisters.org.
That's all for now.
Halftime here at Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. The Indiana Hoosiers leading the Wisconsin Badgers by a score of 34-30. Welcome back, everybody. Dave Ennett with you at halftime of our first Big Ten tournament game. Indiana led by as many as 11, the lead 4 here at halftime. Let's check out our Big Ten scouting report for our opening game of the Big Ten tournament. Coming up, we will bring you the 7th seed Illinois against the 10th seed Northwestern. The Wildcats led by Efomo Okonkwo, averaging just under 12 points a game. Sarah Kwasinski, the veteran center, the all-time leading shot blocker for the Wildcats, and averaging also in double figures. Illinois led by one of the top players in the Big Ten, Angelina Williams, who got all Big Ten consideration, second team all Big Ten performer, 18 points a game, and Tiffany Guthrie, the 1-2 punch for the Illini, and head coach Teresa Grant. So that'll be our second game coming up after this one. In a moment, we're going to be back with a special guest, Jamie Pollard from the University of Wisconsin. We'll take a look at the Badgers athletic program. Wisconsin down by 4 to Indiana. A good one going, though, in this first round game here in Indianapolis.
Big Ten fans embody the spirit of college basketball.
Come out of that tunnel, fans are there, the student section's rocking.
Oh, it's just a chill up your spine. It's just very, very exciting.
Fans make the game. They're the sixth player all the way. They make the atmosphere.
You live and play for that environment, night in and night out.
Fan support is incredible. The enthusiasm is contagious, and it's wonderful to be a part of.
The goal at home is to get them loud and behind you. The fans can impact the game like no other sixth player, but at the same time, they need to represent their institutions extremely well.
So do your part the next time you cheer from the stand.
Show good sportsmanship and respect the fans.
Respect the officials, respect our student athletes.
And respect the great tradition that is Big Ten basketball.
Big Ten basketball. Good sports make great fans.
How much are you paying for internet service? $21? $23? Aren't you being charged too much? We think so. With People PC Online, you get unlimited internet access for only $10.95 a month. Go to peoplepc.com now to try us free for 30 days and compare us with your current ISP. With People PC Online, you get internet service for less than half of what the big guys cost. And that's just the beginning. You also get more local access numbers than AOL, plus a smart dialer that automatically chooses the fastest, most reliable number. So you always get the best connection. All for just $10.95 a month. Try People PC Online free for 30 days and see for yourself. Go to peoplepc.com for a quick 3-minute download of our easy-to-use software. Or call 1-800-748-0571. People PC Online, a better way to internet.
Halftime, Indiana leading Wisconsin by a score of 34-30. We're joined here at halftime at Conseco Fieldhouse with a very special guest, Jamie Pollard. Jamie is Deputy Athletic Director for the University of Wisconsin, the #2 administrator in the Department of Intercollegiate Athletics. And Jamie, part of your responsibilities are the women's basketball program. And you have to like the way the Badgers battled back here in the first half after falling behind by 11. Now it's a 4-point game.
We're really excited. We have a very young team, and it shows. We've had a lot of times this season where we've had runs of both good and not so good. But it was good to close out the half the way we did.
Well, you closed it out well, and it is a young team, but you've got some real exciting young players. Specifically, you've got the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Jolene Anderson, and also you've got Janice Banks, another freshman. I mean, this is going to be a pretty good team for a while.
We're very excited about the freshman class. Lisa brought in 6 outstanding players. Jolene having a great year, being the freshman of the year, setting the Wisconsin all-time scoring record. And Janice Banks, a local gal here from Indianapolis. So we think our future is really bright.
Has to be exciting, too, for Wisconsin to have a player like Jolene Anderson come in as a freshman, make such an impact on the Big Ten, and to be from the state of Wisconsin.
It is, we draw really well in Wisconsin, but it's nice to have a Wisconsin player that the fans can really relate to.
Tell us what kind of excitement Coach Stone has brought in her second year.
Well, Coach Stone has about the highest energy level I've ever seen in anyone, and we say if Coach Stone can't get it done, I don't know who will be able to. But she has a very contagious approach to just the way she motivates and the way she brings out excitement. And it's been very enjoyable to work with her.
And of course, there's already a good base there because traditionally Wisconsin has been one of the best drawing teams in the Big Ten. You draw very well at the Kohl Center, and you've got a great fan base.
We average over 6,000 fans a game, and given the fact that the last 2 years we've had years below 500, the fans have stuck with us. We had almost 10,000 for the game against Michigan State. So we're very proud of our fan support.
I know you'd like it to be a long stay here in Indianapolis, but it's a great atmosphere down here and a great event, isn't it?
This is our 3rd year playing Indiana in the 8-9 game, and we said this year is going to be different. We're sticking around to tomorrow.
Well, we're going to find out here in about the next 20 minutes of basketball. Jamie, nice to chat with you. Thanks for joining us here at halftime. Jamie Pollard, the Deputy Athletic Director for the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Halftime, the Badgers trail the Hoosiers by 4, 34-30. We'll be back with first half highlights coming up.
Who's the most convenient bank in America? U.S. Bank. The one with full-service branches in more states, more ATMs in more convenient places, and more 24-hour banking options, both over the phone and online at usbank.com. Best of all, everything we do is backed by our one-of-a-kind 5-star service guarantee. U.S. Bank is proud to be the official bank of the Big Ten Conference.
The V-Chip and you. Parents, you decide what's right for your family. Everything from what they eat to what they play with. So isn't it important to supervise what they watch on TV? Using the TV ratings at the start of every program in conjunction with the V-Chip found in most newer sets, you can block the programs you find unsuitable for your family. And it's so easy to use. To learn more, visit this website or call the number on your screen. You can't always be there, but with the V-Chip, you are in control.
Teamwork has been the key ingredient to our success as a winning basketball program. The School of Veterinary Medicine is the leader of Wisconsin's team, focused on animal and human health.
Future dairyman Mike Wilkinson knows off the court the School of Veterinary Medicine helps keep his animals healthy.
As a pet owner, it's good to know that we have the home court advantage when it comes to veterinary care. Teamwork, helping dairymen, and dog owners, a winning combination. Oh, good boy. Good boy.
Madison Sports Car Club invites you to our 15th annual High Performance Driver School. Join us Saturday, March 5th at the Holiday Inn East for a free driving seminar. Learn how you can get involved in all areas of motorsports, autocross, road racing, race staff. Find out how to go racing with a car you presently own. Have your questions answered and find yourself in the driver's seat. For more information, please visit us on the web at MadisonSportsCarClub.com. So join us for the Madison Sports Car Club's High Performance Driver School, March 5th at the Holiday Inn East, sponsored by Charter Racing.
The best damn sports show, period. Weeknights on FSN.
You know, you have to pace yourself. It's a long tournament, a long day of basketball ahead. Halftime of game number 1, and Indiana leads Wisconsin by a score of 34-30. Good start here in Conseco Fieldhouse for the Indiana Hoosiers. Wisconsin, though, able to settle themselves, getting it done really in both ends, Tony, to get themselves back in the game.
Well, they really did. They started knocking down some more shots, and Lisa Stone changed up the defenses, extending the full court defense, mixing things up in the quarter court that got themselves back into the game. But Indiana has been doing a very nice job of knocking down their shots as well as spreading the floor. Let's look at how Indiana got off to this quick start. They did it behind Cindy Valentine, who would later go to the bench with 2 fouls. A little floater in the lane there. Valentine. Then it's Boyd on the break. Stevenson finishing. Then Boyd off the dribble for 2. Wisconsin gets going as Anderson. There are the 2 freshmen we talked about them. Anderson to Banks for the jumper. And then Anderson will get it done herself inside from Nelson. And then Banks with a steal here on the fast break as Wisconsin got it back down at 1 point. Indiana, though, with the NBA 3 here. Leah Enterline doing her Reggie Miller impression there. And the Pacers, check that, the Hoosiers. Yeah, start talking about Reggie Miller. 34-30. Shooting Indiana 50%, Wisconsin 38%. 3-pointers, Wisconsin's hit 4, Indiana 3. Rebounding fairly even. In fact, all the stats pretty even. Well, they are, but you have to take a look. 11 points for Indiana from the bench coming in. Great job contributing by Indiana. All right, so at halftime, it's a 4-point lead for the Hoosiers. Can the 3rd year in a row be the charm for the Badgers? They're down by 4. Second half is coming up.
The greatest source of America's generosity is the good heart of the people.
In the aftermath of a devastating tsunami, we come to you not as presidents, but as 2 private citizens.
Everyone can help, and every dollar contributed will impact someone's life. So visit usafreedomcorps.gov to choose a reputable, authorized charity to accept your donations directly.
No one can change what happened,
but we can all change what happens next. Thank you.
Just stick with me, kid. I know this town like the back of my hand. Hey, that's new.
From the creators of Ice Age, they're well built.
Oh, dear.
I'll get them.
Oh, look at that. Oh, now they're arm wrestling.
Well maintained.
This is my 3rd oil change today. Something's wrong with me.
And they're fighting back.
We're here to save you!
How do you think it's going so far?
Robots.
Who are these losers?
We, sir.
I'm a woman.
Ouch. Rated PG. March 11th, only in theaters.
Pac-10 basketball on FSN. Washington goes for their first Pac-10 title in 20 years against Rod Benson and Cal. Pac-10 basketball tonight on FSN.
Meet Bob. Bob went to Arizona. His friend went to Nebraska, and their other friend, Florida State. Now they all live together in L.A. So how do they follow their favorite college teams? With Fox College Sports, featuring over 800 NCAA games each year on 3 regionally aligned channels, FCS Pacific, FCS Central, and FCS Atlantic. All the games that matter in one powerful package. To order Fox College Sports, call 1-877-2-GET-FCS. Fox College Sports, where college never ends.
Live from Mexico City, the world's top drivers go south of the border for the inaugural Mexico 200. This weekend, Busch Series Racing on Fox.
We're getting set for the second half. Indiana leading Wisconsin 34-30. Let's go to Tony Resch. Tony?
Thanks, Dave. Lisa, you're down 4. What do you need to do in the second half?
We need to play better defense, Tony. There's no question about it. We're giving them way too many open looks. We're going to run some switches here, try to get our offense going, and hopefully win the second half.
Hey, good luck in the second half. Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Dave.
All right, Tony, thank you. Leading scorers in the ball game, Leah Enterline leading the way for Indiana with 9 points. Valentine went to the bench with 2 fouls after 9 minutes with 7 points. Hawkins and Boyd each with 5. Anderson with 12 and Banks 11. The 2 freshmen teaming up. There is Stephanie Rich. 5 points in the first half for Wisconsin. There's Banks. And Cindy Valentine comes out with 2 fouls starting the second half. Wisconsin will have the ball first. And Banks to inbound. So here we go. Second half underway. 20 minutes left in the season for one of these two teams. Nelson out to Gabiza. Hawkins comes out on the floor guarding her. Up to Rich. Back out Anderson. Off the dribble. In and out. Gavin had it. Saves it. So Wisconsin comes up empty on their first possession of the second half. Wisconsin outscored Indiana 16-9 over the final 6.5 minutes of the first half.
Well, and the thing is it wasn't because Wisconsin wasn't trying to get things done. They have to make sure that they make their complete rotations. And the situation right there, on-ball defense and rotating over for that help side.
Well, that was Coach Stone's comment to you a moment ago. Need to play better defense, but Stevenson, with the first points of the second half, extends the lead to 6 points. Inside to opposing Rich. Dumps it weak side to Gabiza. Out it goes. Open look for 3 for Anderson. Missed. Knocked around. Taken by Boyd. And the pass inside stolen by Rich. 2-on-1. Ahead to Banks. It's a foot race. Banks missed the shot. But Valentine picks up her 3rd foul. And that is a critical call for Indiana. 2 shots coming up here for the freshman Banks.
That is a tough situation right there, her picking up that 3rd foul.
Banks at the line. 2 for 2 today, make it 3 for 3. 12 points for Banks.
Yeah, Cindy Valentine was Big Ten Player of the Week back in December. And actually against Ohio State, scored her 1,000 point.
Banks makes them both 36-32. So Coach Bennett would not like to have to take her out of the game.
And it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Hawkins. Rich comes away with the loose ball. Wisconsin a chance to get within 2. And Anderson travels. Lost the handle on it as she tried to keep her dribble going. She walked. And the ball goes over to Indiana.
Well, the other thing is some of that had a lot to do with Indiana getting their hands in the mix. And we talked about how active their hands are, not only on the ball, but getting their hands in the passing lanes.
Gavin with a runner. missed. Valentine had it, and now Wisconsin comes away with it.
That's a great heads-up play by Banks as she got the ball while she was on the floor, did not try to pivot out of it, and that's why she didn't travel, and was able to get it off to Anderson.
And an offensive foul called. Check that. Hawkins is called for the foul, I believe. Indiana foul on Hawkins. That's her second.
Second team foul. Into the boundary line, number 23,
Jordan Wilson in, replacing Gabiza. Inbounds pass goes to Banks. Wisconsin down by 4. It was deflected. Wilson saving it. Took a hard tumble. Went to the press table over on the far side. Looks like banged her elbow. It's Indiana ball.
You know, the unfortunate thing for Wisconsin is the official was signaling that it was a deflection, and they tried to make that save. Had they let it go, it had just gone out of bounds, and they could have brought it in off that sideline.
The corner to Gathing. Now Boyd. Gathing, the weak side rebound. The follow, no. Tipped in the air. Gathing swatted it out of there. Now a long deuce, good for Valentine. 9 for Valentine, 38-32.
That was almost a little too easy for her. Takes that ball, just kind of steps into it right off the dribble, had plenty of time to get it off.
Just looks effortless on the shot, doesn't it?
Very much so.
Banks dumps it off to Nelson. Double team. Wants to get rid of it. And Wilson comes over and gets it. 6 to shoot. Wilson. Nope. Tip back out to Wilson, and this time Wilson brings Wisconsin within 4.
Well, her teammates kept the ball alive on the weak side, and Wilson going back at it a second time with the left hand off the glass.
The skip to Boyd. Turnaround jumper. Gathing missed. Hawkins fouled. Both teams cranking up the intensity now, as you would expect, with their season riding on it.
Now, Hawkins really taking advantage of Wisconsin really not making full contact on the box out. That's where you have to sit down, push your opponent away, whether or not it's on the offensive or defensive boards. You've got to make sure that you really establish the inside position, get your opponent on the back.
Wisconsin comes away with the ball after the out of bounds. 38-34, Indiana. After this game, you'll see Northwestern against Illinois. Ball knocked around. Anderson kept it alive for the Badgers. Wilson back out to Banks. Shot clock at 12. Now Anderson. Again, Indiana contesting every pass. Three-point shot no good. Out of bounds to Indiana. 15:56 to go in the second half. Indiana has a 4-point lead on Wisconsin. The Badgers trying to battle back.
The funny thing about canned laughter, it sounds canned. Well, here's a fresh idea. Hormel chili in the preservative-free Smart Pack. Lift, squeeze, tear, and get set to enjoy Hormel chili. It's anything but canned.
Great job.
Nice.
I'll be right back. Watch my seat, huh?
Yeah, I got one. Sorry, my buddy's sitting there. Hello? You'll be fine.
What'd I miss?
Just a little D.
Millions have been affected by the tsunami tragedy, and there's still so much that needs to be done. We urge you to join us in helping the relief effort, because together we can make a world of difference.
On FSN.
Get ready for the Poker Superstars 2. The new weekly tournament where 24 of the world's best players go all in and compete for a purse worth over $1.2 million. Poker's biggest stars head-to-head every week. The Poker Superstars 2 premieres March 13th on FSN.
FSN's coverage of the Big Ten Women's Tournament continues directly following this game. When the 7th seed, Illinois, takes on the 10th seed, Northwestern. You'll see it directly following this game. Don't miss it. Some of the Illinois players watching the game, as is Ohio State head coach Jim Foster. His Buckeyes are the #1 seed in the tournament, and they will play the winner of this game tomorrow in our first game of the day. So Coach Foster doing some scouting here in advance. A great year for Ohio State. Capped by the win over Penn State on Sunday that we brought you here on FSN.
That was a great game.
Jessica Davenport, the Big Ten Player of the Year. Shot clock at 8 for Valentine. Long three. And the rebound, Stevenson. And a fresh 30 seconds here for Indiana. Gathing, catch and shoot jumper, rims out. Hawkins the follow. Got it. Hawkins makes it a 6-point game again, 40-34.
Once again, the boxing out is posing a problem for Wisconsin.
Banks into Rich, double team, tied up. Ball goes over. On the alternating possession, it'll be Indiana ball.
Well, Rich tried to do what she needed to do, and that's split the defenders. She made that baseline cut, gets the ball on the low block, and tries to split the defenders, but Indiana getting their hands in the mix and tying the ball up.
Turnovers, 25 combined. Stevenson to Gathing, back out Valentine from the right side. Nope. Hawkins chases it down in the corner, and again, another offensive rebound for Indiana.
Well, I will say in Wisconsin's defense, those long rebounds are very difficult to judge, and Wisconsin did have the inside position, but that ball came off long on the backside.
Gathing, the pull-up jumper. And a foul on the rebound on Gathing, and that's going to be Jamie Gathing's third foul.
What do you think? Kirsten Baki got the message about boxing out. Baki did an outstanding job coming in and boxing out Gathing.
She said as she went down the floor, make sure you let Tony know that I heard her. Here's Rich looking for Anderson. Anderson off the screen by Baki. Down low, Wilson off the glass. And Wisconsin within 4.
Now, Wilson really working hard, coming from that backside, getting the defense on her back, turning over that right shoulder.
The high low to Hawkins. And Hawkins with a little short jumper. 9 for Hawkins, 42-36.
Well, Hawkins working that step through, squares up to the defense, comes back, steps right through.
Here's Banks against Stevenson. Coming Rich. And the pass intended for Anderson. Taken away. Here's Gathing on the run. Gathing handling the ball in the open court. And now Indiana will set up. Here's Valentine against Anderson. The floater on the baseline, in and out. Rich clears. Outlets for Anderson. And the freshman of the year gets the shooter's touch. And Wisconsin again within 4.
Well, if you take a look, Anderson has not had many looks, especially here in the second half. But you have to really give credit to Indiana's defense. When she went to receive that ball, the last possession down on the low block, 3 players were right around her. Stevenson has been matched up on her. Different players have been matched up on her, not allowing her to receive that ball.
Hawkins missed it. Banks has it. 2-on-2 as they come down the floor, and a foul by Stevenson.
Well, Stevenson actually anticipated that in and out move by Banks very well. The problem is she made the contact, and that's where Banks was able to draw the foul. But watch the in and out, and Stevenson, nice move in trying to take that away. But Banks did a nice job of handling the ball in the open court.
Third foul. Check that. That was the first on Stevenson. And Wisconsin ball. Rich to Josephson. Baki at the top of the key. Rich catch and shoot. 3 ball is good. And it's a 1-point game. 42-41. Second 3-pointer of the day for Stephanie Rich.
35% three-point shooter. Actually got right in the seam of the two defenders. They were there, but she had enough room to be able to get that shot off.
Number 50, Jamie Chapman, goes to Valentine. Once again, Wisconsin within one. The drop step, Hawkins tight ropes the baseline and makes it a three-point game.
Oh, that's just a great move inside. Hawkins just goes to work. Drops and seals that baseline foot of the defender. Right there. Once again, you want to go at that foot and shoulder of the defender. But as a defender, you need to keep moving your feet.
There you see it again. Hawkins into double figures with 11. The Best Damn Sports Show period is the greatest nightly sports show on television with host Tom Arnold and co-host John Sally. The Best Damn Sports Show period, weeknights at 10:30 p.m. only on FSN. 12:03 to go, second half. Indiana with a three-point lead, 44-41. Wisconsin has cut this lead down to 1 point on a couple of occasions. They've never led in the game. And Wisconsin seemingly finding answers now, but seems just when they get it down to one, Indiana comes up with a big basket as they did there from Hawkins.
Now, Hawkins really has been doing a tremendous job inside, looking at creating, attacking, and on the board, she's keeping the ball alive quite a bit.
Last year, Indiana, after beating Wisconsin, went on to play Penn State in the quarterfinals. Lost to the Lady Lions, but gave them a battle, 79-66. As you mentioned earlier, Tony, Indiana, as always, and geographically, they are the closest. Of course, they and Purdue are both within about an hour's drive from Conseco Fieldhouse, but they always come in here and do well. And a couple of trips to the semifinals. There is Angela Hawkins. 6 points this half, 11 points in the game.
Well, the thing is she averages 5.5 points a game. Well above her average.
Into the IU lineup for the timeout.
All right, Wisconsin ball down by 3 with 12 minutes to go as Anderson brings it up. Anderson against Enterline. Out of bounds. It'll be Wisconsin ball with 22 to shoot after this timeout. 11:54 left. 3-point game here in Indianapolis.
Please open your tournament program to
Big Ten fans embody the spirit of college basketball.
They support their favorite teams and conference with passion and loyalty.
Their knowledge in class helps set the Big Ten apart from the rest.
So do your part the next time you cheer from the stand.
Show good sportsmanship and respect the fans, the officials,
and the great tradition that is Big Ten basketball.
Big Ten basketball. Good sports make great fans.
Pac-10 basketball on FSN. Washington goes for their first Pac-10 title in 20 years against Rod Benson and Cal. Pac-10 basketball tonight on FSN.
NASCAR fans, climb in and buckle up as FSN takes you around the track. Friday night, catch an in-depth preview of the big race. Then Sunday, we'll have the final results, highlights, and interviews as we go around the track Fridays and Sundays, presented by Ford.
This is the Sports List.
They lurk in the water, waiting for a fight. It's FLW Outdoors, the ultimate challenge in competitive fishing. A season-long tour with prize money worth over $7 million. Get caught in the action, emotion, and total adrenaline. FLW Outdoors, Sundays on FSN.
Log on to www.big10.org. Keep up, get informed. www.big10.org. 11:54 left here in this opening game of the Big Ten tournament. There's Jolene Anderson, the Big Ten's freshman of the year. 14 points today, 5 rebounds. Gets it back from Bakke. Out to Josephson for 3, and we are tied. 44 all with 11:46 left.
You don't want to get Josephson an opportunity to get started. Because once she gets started, look out. We mentioned it earlier, 29 points against Iowa.
7th in the Big Ten in three-point percentage. And she drills that one off the feed from Anderson. Tie game. Wisconsin's made its last 4 field goal attempts. Tough shot there for Chapman. Rebound Wisconsin. Badgers look for the lead for the first time today.
Right there, that was a good defensive stop by Wisconsin.
And Wilson tied up as she brought the ball down.
Now, you know, you have to really take a look at where the defenders are. They're giving her the ball. They were already, wasn't even before the pass or on the pass. It was before the pass. Defenders are there. So you have to give your teammate an opportunity to do something when they receive the ball.
Anderson looking to do something and gives Wisconsin the lead for the first time today. 16 for Jolene Anderson.
Well, you can't argue with that. Nice little turnaround, one-handed fadeaway.
Hawkins will fire. Rebound knocked around. Anderson has it. Ahead to Josephson. Tried to get it into Wilson. Errant pass taken the other way by Indiana. And Valentine at the end of the break. Hawkins tie up. The ball will belong to Indiana on the alternating possession.
Now both teams really trying to push the ball up the floor. Indiana nearly able to get that to go.
Here's the shot by Anderson that gave Wisconsin the lead. Now Chapman off the glass ties the game.
Now Chapman certainly has the height advantage over Bakke and just turns around with that left hand off the glass.
Now fade away by Anderson. Got it again.
Well, look what Wisconsin's doing. They're posting Anderson up against Enterline, putting her down on the low block.
48-46. Here's Enterline against Anderson. Off to Valentine, 15 to shoot. Kelly Kohlberg, near side Enterline on the move. Double team, trying to shake free. Tied up, Wisconsin ball.
Well, now it's Wisconsin's turn to tie that ball up off the dribble penetration. We've seen Indiana do it a couple times, and right there, the help side rotating over. Good on-ball defense by Bakke and Josephson tying the ball up.
Josephson did a good job latching on there, and she wouldn't let go. Skip pass, and Wisconsin now called for the offensive foul.
Well, if you're Wisconsin, you're going to want to come up with another good defensive stop. Try and get the ball back in your possession. And if you're Indiana, do what's been working for you most of the game. Taking your time, being patient in the half-court offense. Wisconsin back in the zone.
The foul called on Banks. Under the basket, and we're tied again. Chapman with 4.
Chapman turns over that right shoulder.
Wilson. They get it inside. Banks spinning and scoring, and Wisconsin back in front.
Oh, that's a great read by Banks. She knew that the defense had overcommitted. Kohlberg up, got caught on that high side. So what does she do? Drop steps, reverse pivots to the basket.
We tick towards 8 minutes. Valentine into Hawkins. Kick out. Enterline measures the 3. Missed it. Ball loose. Valentine fighting for it along with Hawkins. Hawkins comes out of there with it. Tough shot Chapman over the rim. Rebound Wilson. Banks on the move. Long 3. No good by Anderson. And a foul the other way. Banks picks up her second.
Now that's not necessarily a bad shot by Anderson, because if that shot goes down, the bench and the crowd would have erupted.
Well, at least one bench. Part of the crowd. All right, Valentine will throw it in. Indiana ball. Hoosiers down 2. They've led by as many as 11 in this game. They led by 4 at halftime. Kohlberg to Valentine.
What an amazing story about Kohlberg. Coming off a knee injury a year ago, getting herself back at the end of the season.
Short jumper in the lane by Hawkins won't go. Anderson the rebound.
Actually, she made her appearance here at the Big Ten tournament. It was one of the quickest turnarounds and recoveries from a knee injury.
7:49 to go. Well, Wisconsin's made a comeback here. The Badgers lead by 2 with 7:49 left.
Teamwork has been the key ingredient to our success as a winning basketball program. The School of Veterinary Medicine is the leader of Wisconsin's team, focused on animal and human health.
Future dairyman Mike Wilkinson knows off the court the School of Veterinary Medicine helps keep his animals healthy.
As a pet owner, it's good to know that we have the home court advantage when it comes to veterinary care. Teamwork, helping dairymen, and dog owners. A winning combination. Oh, good boy. Good boy.
The Madison Sports Car Club invites you to our 15th annual High Performance Driver School. Join us Saturday, March 5th at the Holiday Inn East for a free driving seminar. Learn how you can get involved in all areas of motorsports, autocross, road racing, race staff. Find out how to go racing with a car you presently own. Have your questions answered and find yourself in the driver's seat. For more information, please visit us on the web at MadisonSportsCarClub.com. So join us for the Madison Sports Car Club's High Performance Driver School, March 5th at the Holiday Inn East, sponsored by Charter Racing.
College Hockey Breakaway Weekend, March 18th and 19th on FSN North.
To throw a perfect game. For all you pudges and lefties and peewees out there, there's a place for you. It's a place called the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Visit the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown, New York, or explore the museum online and become part of the game you love. This is our game. And this is our place.
You're watching FSN.
Well, Jolene Anderson is making the most of her first appearance in the Big Ten tournament. The layup there, and then Anderson with a floater. And Anderson, the turnaround. The Big Ten's freshman of the year. Off to quite a start in the tournament. Anderson here today with 18 points to lead the way. She's from Fort Wayne, Wisconsin. Population 420. Her dormitory at the University of Wisconsin houses 475. Her hometown is actually quite a bit smaller than Larry Bird's hometown of French Lick, Indiana. Chapman ties the game at 50.
Yep, Coach Lisa Stone has some big plans for her for next year.
And a big rebound by Chapman. Well, why not after the freshman season and teaming her with Janice Banks? Plus, you've got Josephson coming back next year. So, got the makings of a very good team for 2006. Ball tipped away out of bounds. It'll be 12 on the shot clock as Indiana will take it out on the baseline.
Well, they certainly had a great recruiting class for this freshman class, but now for next year, they're very excited about the freshman class, the incoming freshman class that they're going to have. Got a couple post players coming in, which is one of the things that they really have been lacking somewhat this season is size inside. But Dave, you had mentioned that the backcourt between Banks and Anderson is going to be, they're going to be fun to watch.
Anderson missed that time. Let's revisit this Valentine-Anderson matchup we talked about at the top of the telecast. Valentine with 9 points, but Valentine with only 2 here in the second half, and Anderson with 6 since halftime and 18 in the game. Indiana comes away with it, looking to regain the lead. Valentine. And Wilson steals it. Josephson ahead to Bakke. and travel.
That's always a tough situation when you get the ball in the open court. You know there's a defender there, but what you have to do is you have to catch that ball and look if you're not sure what's ahead of you. Defense was fairly close, and she wanted to get that ball up the floor, but needed to take a dribble.
We approach the 6-minute mark, 50-50. Indiana only averages 50.9 points a game, and they only give up 55.
Well, we knew both these teams were going to be looking at pushing the ball up the floor. So the Wisconsin, a little over 68 points a game, just a little under 69 points.
Indiana back in front, Jamie Gathing with the basket. Wisconsin last in the conference in scoring defense and three-point defense, and picked up by Valentine. Down the floor, trying to get past Bakke, count it, and one. And Valentine, chance for a three-point play and a chance for a 5-point lead here for Indiana.
Watch Valentine work her body. She literally turned her back to the defense and comes back with the left hand. Watch how she turns that back to seal that defense away from the ball.
Team fouls even at 4 now. And Valentine with 11 points in the game into double figures. And a chance to make it a 5-point lead and a 7-0 run. After Wisconsin had gone ahead 50-48, the Hoosiers have come back here. A couple of baskets by Chapman. Points off turnovers courtesy of Valentine. An 8-2 run all told here since Wisconsin first grabbed the lead.
Well, you want to know why both of these teams receive the support that they do from their communities. This is a reason why they continue to battle. They have been in, both teams have been in so many close games. Not necessarily coming out with the win, but making things very exciting.
Valentine, one of the top free throw shooters in the Big Ten, 7th in the conference at 82%, had a string of 48 consecutive free throws made, which is the Indiana record, and spins that one out. 54-50.
Well, Valentine got some experience this summer playing for the Puerto Rican national team.
Banks looking for Anderson. Now Nelson to Banks. Rich with it, 10 to shoot. Wilson on the drive. Banks came in for the rebound, and a foul called on the floor. Called, I believe, on Kohlberg.
Jordan Wilson has been knocked to the floor several times and has gone down very hard. Who comes in backside but Banks?
5 minutes to go. Anderson, step back three. Missed. Rebound Gathing. After making 8 of 11 field goals, the Badgers have suddenly gone cold, but a big rebound for Anderson, and they'll try again, down by 4.
Well, you have to like it when your guards are rebounding.
Wilson backing in, turns, missed it. Gathing with the rebound.
Gathing was going to make sure that she came down with that rebound. She completely cleared Annie Nelson out of the way.
And Banks hustling down the floor, tipped the skip pass away out of bounds. 23 to shoot as Indiana will throw it in the corner. 4-point IU lead. The inbounds pass stolen.
I think Anderson might have gotten a hand on it to slow that ball up.
Anderson finds Banks. Spot up three. Good. 1-point game.
What a great catch and shoot by Banks. Receives the ball, didn't drop it, loaded the hits, got the shot off very quickly.
18 for Banks. 54-53 inside of 4 minutes. Boy, there you see the three-point shooting.
Yeah.
How many times did Chapman turn before unloading? 56-53, and a quick timeout taken. with 3:47 left, and Indiana's lead again 3 points, 56-53. Let's take a look at Chapman here. They get dizzy watching this. Chapman turns once, turns again, and knew exactly where the basket was.
Oh, you know, that's why you can't have enough moves. Wilson does a great job of taking the basket away. She moved her feet because she had gotten pinned several times and gotten beat on that baseline. But Chapman did a great job with the turnaround jumper. Little baby hook.
And Chapman, the big second half here. All right, Wisconsin ball.
Wisconsin lineup, number 14, Ashley Josephson. Back in for the Hoosiers, number 20, Leanne Stevenson, number 31, Tia Anaheim.
And again, Indiana with pressure in the backcourt. Stephanie Rich brings it up. And Indiana drops back defensively, 3.5 to go. Comes to Rich, inside Wilson bobbles, lost it out of bounds. 3:26 left. A 3-point game. Indiana in front. Lisa Stone of the Badgers trying to battle back.
Who's the most convenient bank in America? U.S. Bank. The one with full-service branches in more states, more ATMs in more convenient places, and more 24-hour banking options, both over the phone and online at usbank.com. Best of all, everything we do is backed by our one-of-a-kind 5-star service guarantee. U.S. Bank is proud to be the official bank of the Big Ten Conference.
Get ready for the Poker Superstars 2. The new weekly tournament where 24 of the world's best players go all in and compete for a purse worth over $1.2 million. Poker's biggest stars head-to-head every week. The Poker Superstars 2 premieres March 13th on FSN.
What's the latest craze sweeping Wisconsin? Badger 5, the only daily game where the jackpot rolls to the next day if nobody wins. With a game this fun and a bonus this good, no telling how soon it will catch on. For a limited time, when you purchase a $5 Badger 5 ticket, you get 6 plays instead of 5. Badger 5 from the Wisconsin Lottery. Word.
Big Ten basketball on FSN is brought to you in part by U.S. Bank, the official bank of the Big Ten Conference. 3:26 left. Nervous times for Badger fans. Bucky hanging in there, though, trying to stay in shape here. With 3:26 left.
Bucky's always working hard on that baseline. Speaking of working hard, Wisconsin extending their full court pressure.
Well, the urgency now obvious. 3 minutes to go. For one of these teams, the season could be ending in another 3 minutes. Down goes Josephson. And Wisconsin will get the ball on the Indiana foul on the enter line.
Yeah, if nothing else, what Wisconsin's full court pressure is doing is they're slowing down Indiana, that they're not getting into their half court offense until, 20 seconds on the shot clock, sometimes even 19 seconds.
Wow, Josephson nearly pinned along the baseline. Jump pass, Banks one-hands it. Anderson spinning, nearly lost the handle on it. Out it goes to Nelson. And she'll hand it back to Anderson. Shot clock at 15.
Indiana nearly coming up with a steal.
And Hawkins nearly came up with it. Saved by Banks traveling. And they forced the turnover. That's as good as a steal right there, as Hawkins couldn't quite reel it in, but she forced the turnover.
Well, and that's what happens. You get that disruption within that offense. And what hustle. I have been totally impressed with Angela Hawkins' efforts.
But there were 3 near steals on
Very
that
much
possession.
So. Yep. The trap on the inbound pass right on the sideline.
Then Anderson in the high post, and then the last one. And now Boy, nearly lost her footing. Shot clock at 10. Handoff Valentine. Jumper. No. Rebound Gathing. And a foul on the way up. With 2:23 left.
Once again, another second chance opportunity for Indiana.
Here it is. Off the miss by Gathing and the foul. Hold on Banks, her third. Gathing, the best free throw shooter percentage-wise on this Indiana squad at 87%. Misses the first. That's 5 team fouls now on Wisconsin. Badgers are in the 1-and-1. Stephanie Rich back in the game. Speaking of 1-and-1, number 11. Free throw no good by Gathing. She misses twice.
Well, that's nice. It's something that you want to have. You can't fault the effort.
Valentine, steal, foul by Rich.
So the timing off right now in Wisconsin's offense. You have to continue to move to the ball. Indiana doing a tremendous job of stepping to the ball and getting in that passing lane. Great anticipation by Valentine.
Badgers 22 turnovers. 9 steals by Indiana. Above their 11th place per game average of 6.6. Hawkins underneath. Hawkins left it short. Rich controls. 152. 3-point game. And Wisconsin doesn't need a 3 right here, but they need something. They've had a long drought. Nelson with a handoff to Anderson. 12 to shoot. Wilson. Handoff Banks. Banks, 15-footer. Got it. 1-point game. Timeout, Wisconsin.
Well, that's the shot you were talking about, Dave. Right off the dribble. They got Banks. They were looking at Anderson, but good defense by Indiana, not allowing her to have the ball. Little casual handoff right there. Banks cuts back across the grain. Pulls up off the dribble.
Casual handoff is right. Wilson really sold that. 1-point game with 1:28 to go. And if the rest of this tournament is anything like this, then we're in for quite a weekend here in Indianapolis. A reminder that FSN's coverage of the Big Ten Women's Tournament continues right after this game. The 7th seed, Illinois, will take on the 10th seed, Northwestern. You'll see it right after this game. Stay with us for all of the action. And then later on, it'll be Iowa, the 6th seed, against the 11th seeded Michigan Wolverines. As the finale of our triple header today. And tomorrow, a quadruple header with the quarterfinals.
Well, they certainly have had a great start to this tournament.
Well, this is a far cry from last year when these teams met in the tournament and it was an 18-point game. Now Chapman missed, fouled though, and Chapman a chance to make it a 3-point game. Once again, she'll have 2 shots. And Chapman has only been to the line 3 times all year, going 2 for 3.
At the line, again with 2 shots.
2 shots here for Chapman. Both teams now in the 1-and-1, but this was a shooting foul. Chapman left that one short. Indiana 0 for 4 from the line this half.
You know, both Kathy Bennett and Lisa Stone are very familiar with each other. They've known each other since high school. Played against each other in the high school state tournament. Tremendous amount of respect that both coaches have for each other.
Anderson going out on the wing where it's saved by Josephson. Josephson in the lane, fouled. And a 1-and-1 here for Ashley Josephson. Well, we've seen Indiana help out the Badgers by going 3 for 10 from the free throw line. And Wisconsin today is 6 out of 8. Josephson at the line for the first time of the game, 69% foul shooter. Junior from Onalaska, Wisconsin. Tie game. 61 seconds left and a chance to put Wisconsin ahead.
Now, Josephson certainly has had a great 3 years at Wisconsin.
In and out. 1 minute to go. Tie game. 56 all. And Indiana now will look to regain the lead. Valentine against Banks. Good matchup. Scoop to Stevenson. Difference on the shot clock of just about 31 seconds. Here's Gathing. Holds and looks. Goes back to Stevenson with it. Shot clock at 5. Off balance shot by Boyd. Short. Anderson the rebound. A 1 second difference between the clocks. Timeout, Wisconsin.
Timeout, Wisconsin. Well, you have to give credit to Wisconsin's defense. Certainly, I don't think necessarily a shot that Indiana really would like. A tough shot. Valentine had to get off the dribble, off balance. She's very effective off the dribble, but that was one of the toughest defensive possessions that Wisconsin has done, especially on the ball.
All right, 26.1 remaining. Let's reset this for you. High score. Indiana has 2 timeouts left. The Badgers have 1. Neither team has a foul to give. Possession arrow to Wisconsin. Both teams are in the 1-and-1. Each with 7 fouls. 26.1 remaining. 2 years ago here, they played a 1-point game, and Indiana won 52-51. Are we headed for that kind of finish here? These teams met in the regular season. Indiana won by 5, 71-66. In that game, Anderson scored 20. In this game, she's got 18, and Banks has 20.
Well, this is always interesting to see what the strategies are between the coaches. You get different philosophies. Some will look to foul right away. Some will look to take their chances and try and come up with a defensive stop. But the problem is there's only a 2-second difference from the game clock to the shot clock.
It's 24 on the shot clock. That's to the right at the top of your screen. And time remaining in the game, 26.1 in regulation. All right, Josephson with it. 22 seconds to go.
Valentine is right on Anderson.
Boyd on Josephson. The jump pass to Nelson. Handing it back. Anderson lost the handle on it. Banks fighting for it. Held ball. It will be Wisconsin's ball with 10.6 to go. And Wisconsin will take time. Badgers use their last timeout here with 10.6 to go.
Now that was extremely well played defense by Indiana. As opposed to going over top on the handoff, they went underneath and totally clogged everything up on the inside. And watch the handoff, but watch Indiana's defense. Everything is clogged up. Look at the hedge right there by Gathing. Not allowing that, so she comes underneath, and you have the help side coming over, diving on the floor for the ball. Great job by Indiana. And actually, that was Stevenson that dove on the floor for the ball.
There was Lisa Stone. Shooting for the game. Almost even. Slight edge to Indiana. Slightest of edges. Anderson will inbound. Left sideline. 10.6 in regulation. 9 on the shot clock. Goes to Nelson. Trying to hand it back to Anderson, and does. 7 seconds. Out to Banks for 3. No. Long rebound. Tipped around. Josephson puts it back up. No. It will go overtime in game number 1. Lisa Stone wanted a foul. No call. We go OT here in Indianapolis. How's this for a way to start the tournament? Wisconsin and Indiana play a scoreless final minute after a free throw tied it.
Now Banks gets a good shot off.
And then Josephson, pretty much a desperation shot there.
Got tipped from behind.
And then there is the final shot. Here it is from the inbounds pass.
Look at the defense Valentine is playing on Anderson.
You see the time remaining here is Josephson right there. Would have counted. Well, we'll go an extra 5 at least. Wisconsin 56, Indiana 56, end of regulation in Game 1 in the Big Ten tournament.
This is the Sports List
with Summer Sanders.
the show that counts down anything in the world of sports.
The most shocking upsets, the best sports heroes, the sexiest athletes, the biggest sports scandals, and much more. Hosted by Summer Sanders.
Every night, a new list.
Every night, a new argument. The Sports List, weeknights on FSN.
The Pac-10 tournament. That's what we like. Where the madness begins. What a play! The conference's elite square off as they set out on their quest for a title. Oh, is that ever pretty? 3 days in March. Can you believe that? One course. And a champion crowned. The Pacific Life Pac-10 Men's Tournament, March 10th and March 11th on FSN.
And our overtime is underway. Indiana wins the tip. Hoosiers and Badgers tied 56 all. Dave Ennett, Tony Resch from Indianapolis, 56 all. And Jamie Gathing unties the game with a long jumper. Gathing puts Indiana up 58 to 56. Indiana played an overtime game just last month against their in-state rival Purdue. They lost at home 62-58. This is Wisconsin's first overtime game since 2004. They lost to Iowa 87-82 in that one. Indiana with the ball, 8 to shoot. Gathing inside, double team, lost the ball. Josephson picks up the loose ball. Anderson banks it in. And we're tied 58 all. Anderson with 20. Three and a half to go. Here's Stevenson. Looking right side for Valentine. Shot clock is down to 12. Valentine into Hawkins. Hawkins on the move. Jumper no good. Rebound Wilson. Now Wisconsin looks to regain the lead.
Well, that's one of the few misses that Hawkins has actually had. She's been doing a very good job of powering the ball up, getting the defense on her back.
And Wisconsin has the lead. Jordan Wilson with 8.
That time Jordan gets herself on the low block, coming over the right shoulder, left shoulder with the right hand. We've seen her work on the left block. That time on the right block.
Out it goes Stevenson for 3. And it goes in. What a shot by Stevenson. That hit about every part of the glass of the rim it could.
Well, and actually, I think it hit the top of the backboard.
I thought it did too, but it must have stayed flat against the backboard. 9 for Stevenson. Her first three-pointer of the day. She'll remember that one. Banks trying to answer with a 3. Didn't quite get the bounce. 61-60 Indiana. As we tick towards 2 minutes, Josephson the steal, falling down, saves it to Banks. Ahead, Anderson measures the 3. Missed it. And Wilson, big rebound. Inside to Nelson. Finds Banks cutting. Back to Nelson. Got it.
Well, she stayed with that one, Dave. She fumbled the ball on the way up and kind of tipped it in.
Wisconsin the lead by 1. 1:38 to go in overtime.
Both teams working extremely hard. But we talked about it from the onset of the game about how defense really is, both of these teams do such a nice job, and they've caused problems in the offense.
And count the basket for Hawkins and a chance for a three-point play.
We've seen the deflections, we've seen the steals. The team's been able to convert at the other end. Once again, Hawkins going to work inside. Wisconsin actually has 14 steals, and Indiana has 11 steals. Wisconsin averages a little over 8.5 a game, and Indiana 6.5 a game.
Free throw is short. Rebound, knocked around, saved by Rich. First overtime game of the Big Ten tournament since 2002 when we had 3 of them. One of them won by Indiana. We also had a double overtime game won by Ohio State over Michigan State that year. We have 104 left. Indiana leading by 1, 63-62.
Well, we talked about the defense. Once again, another nice play by Indiana, getting up in the passing lane and causing I don't want to say an errant pass, but the ball go through Rich's hands out of bounds.
104 left. 30-second timeout. Well, I guess for the Indiana Hoosiers, a chance here. They came in on a 4-game losing streak coming into the tournament. They had won just 2 of their previous 13 games. And right now, for the second time here in the last few minutes, they have a chance to get a win and advance to the quarterfinals. Hoosiers gathered around Coach Kathy Bennett over on the far side. Let's take a look at the three-pointer by Stevenson. Now watch this shot. It'll hit high off the backboard. It goes off the rim, high off the top of the backboard.
Yep.
And
but as long as it doesn't hit the shot clock and stays, and actually I think it hit the inside of the top of the backboard.
If it breaks the plane
correct
of the backboard, that would be a turnover. 63-62, 104 left. There are the Badgers. They beat Northwestern last week. They won 2 in a row in early February against Iowa and Illinois. Iowa on the road.
They had a tough stretch there.
Michigan State, Penn State, Minnesota, back to back to back. I'd say so. And 2 of those on the road. Penn State and Minnesota back to back on the road. All right. 1 minute to go in overtime. 63-62 Indiana. Stevenson against Anderson. Swings it out to Gaving. Now to Valentine. Ederline with a pump fake. The dish to Stevenson. 10 to shoot. 40 in the game. The runner no good. Out of bounds to Indiana with 4 on the shot clock. 4 seconds on the shot clock for the Hoosiers with 38.7 on the game clock.
I think there's going to be a question here. It has something to do with the clock, whether or not there's going to be a reset.
Well, that's what Indiana was pleading for. There's the time remaining, the shot clock in red. And Kathy Bennett giving her players some instructions. We've seen no change as of yet to the clock.
Well, if you're Indiana, you've got several shooters that are on the floor right now. You've got Ederline, Valentine, and then you have Stevenson that's inbounding the ball.
Stevenson looking to get it into the corner. The shot on the way. No good. Rebound by the Badgers. Anderson. Timeout Wisconsin with 29.6 and a 4-second difference shot clock to game clock.
Well, they'll have the ball on the side.
Well, we've been here before today. The difference this time is it's not a tie game. Wisconsin has to come away with something here. Again, a reminder, FSN's coverage of the Big Ten tournament continues right after this game. The 7th seed Illinois takes on the 10th seed Northwestern. You'll see it directly following this game. Don't miss it. Illinois and Northwestern coming up next here on FSN. If that game's anything like this one, I'd say we'd have had a pretty good day.
Hey, the Big Ten tournament, it never disappoints.
All right, Wisconsin ball. Banks will trigger. They take it out on the side. 29.6 to go. Anderson with it. 1 point Indiana lead. 4-second difference shot clock to game clock. Valentine pressuring Anderson. Anderson on the move. Kick out Josephson. Drives in. Jumper. No. She's fouled. And Josephson, who hit the free throw that tied the game, will now have a chance once again to tie it.
At the line for Wisconsin, shooting 2 is after.
And in fact, if she makes one, she could give Wisconsin the lead here. Let's take a look. Josephson ties the game with 15.8.
Well, once she receives that ball, she cuts it back, and Enterline had fallen, but you take a look, Gavin comes up to contest the shot, but unfortunately, Enterline making contact on the shot.
And Wisconsin leads again. 15.8 to go. All right, Hoosiers bring it up. 13 seconds. Stevenson all the way in, missed the shot. Wilson the rebound and a foul. Wilson grabbed hold of the rebound, and the Badgers will go to the other end for a 1-and-1.
Oh, that's a great take by Stevenson. Pushes it up, gets around the defender, comes back, just hits that backboard right underneath the rim. Just a little bit higher, and that ball would have been in the basket.
It's that point in the game, especially in overtime, where you might not quite get the elevation you would have earlier. At the line, Wilson. Got it. She'll have another. And that makes it a 2-point game. With 8 seconds to go. And this one, to ensure that you won't lose on a 3-point field goal, she makes it.
Well, because Indiana has the 3-point shooters.
Indiana now needs a 3 to tie. 8 seconds. 7. Stevenson. 4 seconds. Valentine for 3. Tied. 1.6. She did it. Now, from half court, Nelson, and we'll go to overtime number 2. Holy smokes. What a way to start the tournament. Double overtime.
Now the 5'8" junior for Indiana comes up huge, deep three-pointer. Well, we talked about it. Indiana has the shooters.
Well, Stevenson, the question here was Stevenson holding the ball as the time is running down here. 2 seconds. And Valentine hits the 3. Here it is again.
Well, Stevenson just drew the defenders and then just cut it right back. What a great shot by Valentine.
First double overtime game in the Big Ten tournament since Ohio State beat Michigan State in 2002. As Valentine comes through with a big shot. Well, now how big is that second free throw by Wilson?
Oh, well, when you said that, and that was my thought, is because you can never count Indiana out. They've got the shooters, and they always come through. Always. We've seen it in the past. Indiana
shot 50% in the first overtime, as did Wisconsin. What a ball game this has turned out to be. So memo to Illinois and Northwestern, you might want to relax a little bit. We're going to be here a while. And I wonder what's going through the mind of Jim Foster right now. He knows he'll be playing one of these teams tomorrow.
Oh, you know, Jim Foster made a comment to me one time prior to interviewing him for a game. And, you know, all of these coaching staffs scout their opponents so well that he said if anybody thinks that they have any surprises, he said they're fooling themselves because, you know, so what he's doing is sitting back and really just watching and probably in some respects admiring the effort and seeing if there's, you know, if anybody has added any new twists or anything else. But he has a tremendous amount of respect for the coaches in this conference and teams.
A good effort there for Enterline to give Indiana the lead as we start the second overtime. Here's Josephson to Wilson. Shot clock at 10. A handoff Anderson. Out it goes Banks for three. Good.
Now you got some smooth shooters.
Ooh, I guess. 69-68 Wisconsin. Banks now with 23. There you see the three-point shooting. Wisconsin with 8 threes. Off the window, the turnaround. Chapman has had a real nice game for Indiana.
I've been impressed with what the post play has done for Indiana. Their improvement has been significant.
Josephson for three.
Well, speaking of significant.
And Wisconsin by 2.
The outside shooting of Wisconsin, especially towards the tail end of the second half and here in the 2 overtimes, has been huge.
Valentine, not that time. Good box out by Wilson. And Anderson brings it down for the Badgers. Accelerates, runner, no. And on the rebound, Banks steps on the baseline.
That's just a tough call right there. You're hustling after the ball, after the rebound, and unfortunately putting that foot on the line.
Wilson called for a foul as check that. Wilson comes back in, I should say, and Anderson brings it up, or Stevenson brings it up, gets rid of it to Valentine, and now Enterline, and off Hawkins inside, fouled.
Well, Hawkins made that happen because as the penetration went down towards that low block, she relocated and popped up to that middle post. Watch how she relocates, creates some space, and then that allows her room to go to work.
At the line, shooting 2 for Indiana.
You know, Hawkins gets such extension as she gets up. The problem is she's a little late on her release, and that's why the shots that she's taking are short. But she's so strong and powers it up, gets herself wide, gets a big base.
Hawkins, another free throw attempt coming to tie the game. And she does. 72 all with 3:05 left in overtime number 2. Anderson, after a brief rest, returns to the scorer's table. Josephson has a big 3 here in overtime. This time, the runner in the lane. No good. Rebound Banks. And a fresh 30 seconds here for the Badgers. In a tie game, 72 all.
Now, whoever comes out as being the winning team, certainly fatigue is going to have to be a factor tomorrow. It's one of the things I'm sure that Jim Foster's keeping in the back of his mind.
Rich saves it. 4 to shoot. Rich inside. No. Foul call.
You know, the difference being if it was a double overtime on Friday, then you have an off day on Saturday. It's going to be tough to come back and play. And they play at noon tomorrow.
Enterline called for her 3rd foul. 10th team foul. 2 shots here anyway for Stephanie Rich. 2 for 2 from the line today. Wisconsin back in front. Here comes Anderson back in for Josephson.
And the thing is neither team is actually going very deep into their bench. They've been rotating players.
1 point Wisconsin lead with 2:15 to go into the second overtime.
You know what, though? But you have to play to win. You can't be playing for it.
Right. You can't worry about tomorrow. You can't worry about the fact that there are 3 players on the floor right now with 4 fouls. They got to be out there. Stevenson, 3-point shot, no good. Nelson, the rebound. She's had some big rebounds for him today.
Yep.
7 rebounds. Double-doubles in the game for both Jolene Anderson and for Jordan Wilson. And for Angela Hawkins, 15 points, 14 rebounds. Long jumper by Rich won't go. Hawkins another rebound. Her 15th. 15 and 15. And this time Anderson with a rebound.
You know what? That was the right idea, though. She tried to get it up over the defense because Chapman was there. Just hit that rim. Kathy Bennett putting her hands on her head.
Shot clock down to 10. Anderson, tough shot. Missed it. Another rebound for Hawkins.
1 minute to play.
Stevenson angles it. Corner. Valentine steps in, fires. Good. 74-73 Indiana. 55 seconds left. The Hoosiers are back in front. We'll take a break. 1 point Indiana lead in overtime number 2. Do we hear 3? We'll find out.
The Best Damn Sports Show, period.
She is 1 rebound away from tying that record, which here against the Badgers last season. 16 rebounds.
What a great effort.
A lot of personal tournament bests being set here today. Career highs. 1 point Indiana lead. Badgers have been answering all day, and they do it again. As Rich brings it up against Enterline. 40 seconds to go. 24-second difference between the clocks. And traveling on Indiana. And a break for the Badgers.
Anderson got caught up there with the defense. Cool.
Right here is Anderson losing the handle on it, gathers it in, then the steal, and Enterline called for the travel. You cannot fault the effort either way in this ball game.
Not at all.
And it's really picked up, as you would expect in a game which means as much. 35.7 to go into the second overtime. There you see the numbers on Hawkins today. 15 and 16.
Not a bad outing.
And we still have another 35.7 at least. It goes to Wilson. Quick handoff to Rich. From the corner, Anderson for 3. Missed. Nelson the rebound. 25 seconds to go. The shot clock is off. 1 point Indiana lead. Banks with it. Stevenson creeping towards her. Now Banks on the move. The runner hit the side of the glass. No good. A foul on the rebound. Foul is called, I believe, on Valentine, and that's it for Valentine.
Well, if you notice what Wisconsin did, they brought Anderson all the way up to get her out of the picture, and that allowed Banks to go to work. Look at her put that head down. You got to give her credit. She goes up and over. A good contest by Chapman.
And Valentine fouls out of the ball game.
What about Wilson getting her right there in the mix?
Cindy Valentine, 16 points. And of course, the big three-pointer that sent this game into a second OT. So with 12.5 to go, Wilson will have a chance here to put Wisconsin ahead.
Kathy Bennett utilizing the time that she has before she makes a substitution.
At the line for Wisconsin,
Boyd is in.
Jordan Wilson.
And 2 shots here for Wilson. Wilson from the line, 2 for 2. 3 for 3. This for the lead.
You can see Valentine's eye right there. And what a great effort she did and had today.
Wilson gets the roll. 12.5 left. Wisconsin in the lead. Stevenson into the lane. Pull-up jumper, no. Rebound knocked around. Stevenson has it. 2 seconds. Good if it goes. Air ball out of bounds at the buzzer, and Wisconsin wins. The Badgers advance in double overtime. A look of relief and exhaustion on the face of Lisa Stone. And obviously a difficult moment for the Indiana Hoosiers as the Indiana coaching career of Kathy Bennett comes to an end, and Cindy Valentine, well, I think that look says it all. The huge three to send the game into a second OT.
He told us he came up big. He was the savior in that particular game.
Reach in.